When you think of a salad, what comes to mind? Crisp lettuce, juicy tomatoes, maybe some cucumbers, and a drizzle of dressing? Perhaps a bit of protein tucked in like chicken or tuna. Salads are everywhere, in restaurants, at home, and even in school lunches. But have you ever stopped to wonder, why do we call it salad? So today we're diving into the story behind this common yet fascinating dish. Why is it called salad? It seems like such a simple word, yet it carries centuries of history, culture, and a surprising connection to salt. Let's get into it, right here, on History of Simple Things. The word salad actually comes from the Latin word salata, which means salted things. Salted things? That might sound a little strange, but in ancient times, adding salt to vegetables wasn't just for flavor, it was a necessity. Salt was one of the earliest and most important seasonings, used to preserve food and enhance taste. Back then, a salad wasn't the carefully arranged bowl of greens we think of today. It was any assortment of raw vegetables, often seasoned with salt, olive oil, or vinegar. In ancient Rome, for instance, people would take raw vegetables and sprinkle them with brine or salty dressing. They didn't have our modern idea of dressings, vinaigrettes, or mayonnaise-based sauces. It was simple, practical, and flavorful. The Latin term herba salata literally meant salted herbs, and over time, salata evolved into the French word salade, and eventually into the English salad. Salads, in their earliest forms, were quite different from what we eat today. They were raw, often bitter, and sometimes included herbs that we wouldn't normally consider edible. Think wild greens, dandelion leaves, or even chicory. The Romans, Greeks, and later the medieval Europeans all enjoyed these salted herbs in various forms. Interestingly, salads weren't considered fancy or luxurious in ancient times. They were everyday food for common people. Salt was an expensive commodity, so being able to season vegetables was a way to make simple foods more enjoyable. In a sense, salads were an early form of comfort food. Over the centuries, the idea of a salad began to evolve. By the Middle Ages in Europe, people started experimenting with combining vegetables, fruits, and even meats. Herbs remained a central part of the mix, but oils, vinegars, and various seasonings began to make an appearance. Dressing a salad became an art form. The French, in particular, elevated salad preparation to a new level. By the 17th and 18th centuries, French cooks were creating elaborate salades, often combining raw vegetables with boiled eggs, cheeses, and delicate vinaigrettes. This period also helped solidify the association between salad and sophistication. Salad was no longer just salted vegetables. It was now a dish that could showcase technique, taste, and presentation. Salads didn't stay confined to Europe. As trade and exploration expanded, salad ingredients and techniques spread across the globe. Mediterranean salads like Greek salad or Italian caprese emphasized fresh local ingredients and simple dressings. In Asia, raw vegetable dishes were often served with soy sauce, sesame oil, or pickling brines, showing a different cultural approach to the idea of a salad. In the United States, the salad as we know it today really began to take shape in the 19th and 20th centuries. Iceberg lettuce became popular, and mayonnaise-based dressings were introduced. Salads transformed from a side dish into a main event, with everything from Waldorf salads to Cobb salads appearing in menus across the country. And yet, despite these modern twists, the name salad remained a nod to its salted beginnings. So why does salt play such a key role in the story of salad? Beyond flavor, salt historically acted as a preservative. Before refrigeration, lightly salting vegetables helped keep them edible for longer. Salt also draws out moisture, enhancing texture and taste in ways that ancient cooks deeply appreciated. Even today, you might notice that sprinkling a little salt on raw greens, tomatoes or cucumbers, brings out a depth of flavor that's otherwise missing. In a sense, every salad, even the fancy ones topped with nuts, cheese, or grilled meats, carries a silent tribute to salt, the ingredient that first made raw vegetables palatable and desirable. The humble seasoning left its mark on the dish and on the very word we use to describe it. Here are some fun facts about salads that might surprise you. Caesar salad isn't named after Julius Caesar, but after Caesar Cardini, an Italian-American restaurateur. The Waldorf salad, made with apples, celery, walnuts, and mayonnaise, was first created at New York's Waldorf Astoria Hotel in the late 19th century. Lettuce, a mainstay of many salads, was cultivated in ancient Egypt, initially for its seeds and oil rather than its leaves. Fruit salads were often considered a dessert until the 20th century, when creative chefs started blending sweet and savory elements. These examples show how salads have evolved, yet they all trace back to the simple idea of mixing ingredients and enhancing them with seasoning. Next time you toss together a bowl of lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, and maybe some dressing, take a moment to appreciate the history behind that humble dish. The word salad connects us to ancient Rome, to the art of seasoning with salt, and to centuries of culinary evolution across the globe. It's a simple word for a simple concept, yet it carries a surprisingly rich story, one that reminds us how even everyday food can be full of history, culture, and meaning. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.